Hey everybody, welcome back inside the mind of Matt. I printed up something special for the 4th of July. I put it in some plaster of Paris and made a mold out of it. And now I'm gonna burn it out and I'm gonna melt some aluminum and I'm gonna fill it and make it into an aluminum. You wanna see? Make sure you watch the rest of this video. Stay tuned. Alright, so I got the mold. I took it out of the case that I had. I'll show you here. So now I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to burn out PLA. I got a hack of a way to do it, so let me show you. And here it is. I got an old barbecue grill, kind of disintegrated down inside, but I think that it's going to work. Enough to do my burnout. So I gotta hook up the tank and get this thing fired up. It's probably gonna take an hour or so, so we'll follow along. I got my handy dandy heat gun and I'm gonna keep track of how hot it gets. Hey folks, I'd like to mention though that what I'm about to do is extremely dangerous. I don't suggest you do it. If you do it, you're going to do it at your own risk, and I ask that you be safe as you possibly can. Thank you. I can smell that hot glue. Alright, so that's still melting out, burning out. Figured I'd go over my forge here a little bit, show you guys what I'm working with. First off, my safety equipment. I don't have my boots on yet, but when I start to melt, I'll be changing and putting my boots on. Boots are going to be the first. Anything falling on the ground, you want to make sure you got leather protecting your feet. I got some leather welding gloves, they work great. Face mask. That's not really a safety tool, but got a temperature gun. And these are some of the tools that I use. I've actually found these. It's a fireplace tool. I did a little bit of welding in this joint to make it a little bit stronger. And then these things are just things that I either bought from the dollar store or found at a garage sale or flea market. That's one of my favorite tools. And then of course that's my dross pan, and I've got my ingot tray that I made, or if you don't have the option of making something like that with a welder and some angle iron, You can just use some muffin tins. And I got some cans for some sand. And that's my torch right there. Nothing but a weed burner bought from Arbor Freight. And then of course my forge. Made this out of a garbage can. I did have 2 attempts at the lid. First time it kind of crumbled. I ended up taking some like some hanger wire and drilling some holes and then kind of weaving it back and forth through, and it kind of held in. And of course my crucible is nothing but a fire extinguisher. But this is plaster of Paris and place sand, and it's held up 2 seasons now. Several burns. And as far as my raw material, I got a bunch of ingots laying around, but I also just wanted to show you an example of some of the things you can use. Now, see, I live in New York, so they got a 5-cent deposit on most cans, so you won't see me burning or melting a lot of cans, but some don't have a deposit, so I'll keep them around and melt them. And of course, this is just some service entrance cable left over from a job. I'm gonna melt these pieces down. I've got a lot. And of course, I got some pre-melted ingots that I'll possibly use. So that's my forge. We're still waiting on this thing to melt out, so stay tuned. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes. Let's see what this thing is doing. Let me put on my gloves here, because it's warm. I can feel it. Let's see what it is outside. Just the outside of it is 205 degrees, and this is Celsius. The mold is starting to turn goldy brown. I'm going to flip it. Getting there. Got some more time to do. It is a 3D printed eagle statue. I've made a mold out of it.
Oh, sweet.
And I'm going to melt some aluminum and make a casting out of it.
So what's inside there now? What you printed is in there?
Yep. A printed
Now
eagle.
what are you doing with the torch?
Just heating it up. The plastic melts like wax at a certain temperature.
Inside, the little thing you printed or you're melting?
Yeah.
Ah, to
I made
make
a mold
the
of that. Yeah.
Ah, I got you. I got you now.
Yeah.
And what's the material outside?
Plaster of Paris.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Little 4th of July thing. I printed a red, white, and blue one. I'm just trying to see if I can speed up the process, because the grill isn't getting hot enough.
You're just basically trying to melt that statue.
Yeah. The material
It's
is
in there.
It's It's called PLA. Alright, this thing is moving a little slow, so I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. More time to melt. But still probably got to get pretty low. Alright, I think this thing's been in here long enough. I'm going to take it out, throw my crucible in, we're going to start to melt some aluminum. So I did do a little damage to my mold. You see it's still warm. Flip it over and show you what happened. I'm hoping that I can bury it in some sand, fix a little bit. I still don't know if I got all the plastic out though. I do. So I'm not sure how successful this is going to be after all. problem with my mold. So, I really don't know how successful this is going to be. I'm expecting realistic outcome, so we'll see. Either way, I do have a little bonus. We got a little Santa Claus. There we go. Santa Claus styrofoam down inside of that right there. Either way, we're going to have something. Alright, I think we're ready to pour. So it's got to cool, and I'll see the results here soon. dark out, but I see metal up by the wing, so got my lens a little bit dirty. Alright, well, I'm back inside. It got real dark real fast. Was able to clean off what plaster was left around the mold. And, well, I learned something. And so it was a failure. But I learned something, so I guess it's not that horrible. So, first thing, I had the mold break around the bottom, so I lost my base. Should have looked like that. And then of course, well, as you see, the one part that did come in the lower wing came out great, but for some reason the plastic, well, I just didn't give it enough time to completely burn out. So, needless to say, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board. I'm thinking that if I actually like made a sprue coming out, let's see, coming out the back and then going down, just an extra gate for all the metal to melt out of it, might have a better chance, you know, because otherwise I was trying to melt all of this plastic through those few little orifices, and it just wasn't quite enough. I saw it was kind of like caramelized in the mold. So I said to my neighbor that came over, it's probably turned to glass. But anyways, I did do the Santa Claus, and other than hitting him with a wire brush and having a huge amount of overflow, because it was a last minute thought. I found him when I was getting set up. I figured I'd throw him in. I didn't put a sprue on him, but anyways, so lost PLA is a bust this time, but guarantee that I am definitely going to be revisiting this very, very soon and using some of the things that I learned today so that maybe I can try to cast this again. One of the other things that I did, I was watching a guy, I believe his name is NC Hippy. I'm going to leave a link to his channel down in the description because he doesn't have that many subscribers, but he's an interesting character to say the least. And he did say one thing that I'm going to try next time, and what he said was use a different color PLA than your mold so that you have some type of contrast to be able to see. But like I said, with me, I was just those little orifices that I was trying to get it to melt through were probably not big enough. So maybe the gate like I was talking about will help next time, but I'm going to be doing it in a different color. And also, this was printed at I think 3 layers outside, 4 bottom, and 6 top, which is my normal settings, but I only had it at 10% infill, so I'll probably lower the counts on all of those and print it in more of a hollow, and maybe it'll melt out faster. So I'm going to do some more research, but if you do have any tips on anything that you saw that might be able to do different and have some better success, make sure you leave it in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video and this type of content so that you can see more. If you hit that notification, you'll get an alert when my videos come out. And also hit that like button, it'll really help out. And if you haven't checked out any of my affiliate links down in the description, as well as my Patreon, check those out as well. Anyways, I'm on the road to 500, so help me out and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks again, everybody, for stopping inside the Mine of Matt. Happy printing, and good luck melting. By the way, I got a package from Matter Hackers today, before the 4th of July. So stay tuned, because there's going to be a video about putting what's inside this on there. Stay tuned.